Hi Sagittarius, I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are well. Welcome to your April 2024 monthly tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at the astrological energies that we are working with during the month of April. Now Sag, I will tell you, April is probably one of the most energy shifting months of 2024. And I say that because we are entering into the month already in eclipse season. We did have that eclipse back there in March in the sign of Libra, but in April we will have a total eclipse that does occur in the sign of Aries. And this is a huge eclipse. This is the one going over the United States that astrologers have been talking about for a long time. We start off the month with Mercury retrograding also in the sign of Aries, and then we have also a full moon in Scorpio, and then we also have this great conjunction of Uranus and Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. Now you all, that is a lot of energy. That is a lot going on in 1 month. So really make sure you're keeping up with your health. Make sure you're watching your words. Remember, all that Mars energy with Aries is going to be really huge this month. Make sure you're not getting into power struggles and power plays, especially like at work or where people have like superiors or whatever. Just really pay attention to all of that, okay? I have all of the dates below. Check that and see where you are planning different events and things in your life during April, okay? If you all want a personal tarot reading, I have a link below that will take you to my site. All right, Sag, let's see what Spirit has for you. You open up the month with 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. Then you have the 5 of Wands, also in the reverse. Second week finds you with the Queen of Swords in the upright, as well as the Hangman also in the upright. Oh, it's actually reverse. The Hangman is reverse. You are enlightened that second week of the month. Wheel of Fortune comes in for you that third week of April, as well as the 4 of Pentacles. And the last week finds you with the 3 of Pentacles, working with others, probably at work. And the Star card, Aquarius energy there, major arcana. So you got 2 major arcanas, the Star and the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, and the Hangman. So you got 3 major arcanas. So already big energy there. You're opening up the month, it looks like, with some disagreements, possibly around money, with possibly people at work. So really pay attention to that, okay? All right, let's go ahead and ask Spirit to send you a card representing the energies that you moved out of March with. Remember, we did end with that big eclipse. So let's see what you are bringing into the month of April. And you have the 4 of Cups in reverse. So for some of you Sages, you all were kind of in a more lackadaisical mode during the month of March, just in terms of you not worrying about anything. You seem like you were kind of keeping to yourself, really paying attention to your own needs, not really trying to get involved with a lot of other people. And emotionally, I feel like you were very detached from the world. I do think that's going to take a twist and turn during this month of April. I do think, especially with all that Aries energy, there are going to be a lot of conversations. We already saw in some of your cards that you're having possibly disagreements with people, or possibly having to work in groups of people. So really keep that in mind, that it's going to be a big shift than where you came from in the month of March, okay? All right, so let's go ahead now, Sag, and pull an oracle card. Let's see what other messages Spirit has for you for the month of April. And you have the Moon. Take note of intuitive messages. Now, I think it's really interesting, Sagittarius, because all of the other signs have been getting like all of these, I'm going to show you some of the other ones, have been getting like people and like all of these like huge ones. But I think it's interesting that you got the Moon. And I would say that You all are one of the signs that usually intuition is usually not as heightened as possibly like an air sign or a water sign. But this month that's not going to be the case. This month, you're really going to be able to tap in to your intuitive side, especially if you are someone who is really looking at growing your spiritual beliefs, possibly. If you're trying to come into a new health practice, there's something around this month, Sagittarius, that you're coming into your own intuition and you're trying to figure out how to use this in your day-to-day world. And I think once you heighten this sense, you're going to be able to tap into working with other people a lot better. And I feel like that take note of intuitive messages is already spirit signaling that it's going to be sending you intuitive insight, messages, possibly talking to you in your dreams. So really pay attention to those during this month. Okay, Sag? Okay, so when we're looking at your month as a whole, I think one of the things that stands out for me the most is that there's some type of conversations possibly around money, disagreements, possibly as you open up the month when we have Mercury retrograding. Some type of important decision, conversation, or announcement could be made during the second week of the month. That is when we have that total solar eclipse. Pay attention to what is said during that time. By the time you get to that third week of the month, you do have this wheel of fortune. So a twist of fate could occur around your finances, your banking, your investing. So pay attention there. That is when we have that conjunction in Taurus, but the planets are Uranus and Jupiter. So pay attention there. And then when you get to this last week of the month, this is when we have all of this energy of Mars moving into Aries, Mars moving into Aries, and that Three of Pentacles and Star card, beautiful energy for working alongside people, working with people. So really nice shift to see from in the beginning of the month, a little hairy, to the end of the month, working well together. So let's go week by week and see what Spirit has for you, what other messages come through. So you start off that first week of April with the Five of Wands and the Six of Pentacles, both in reverse. There are conversations, Sagittarius, that could come up around who is getting a raise or who is getting these benefits, or possibly new people are coming into the mix at work. Maybe there's new hires that come in and the new hires are being treated differently than the people who have been there for a while. There is some kind of almost like favoritism, it feels like, or communication breakdowns. So it's feeling like favoritism, but it's not really like ill intent. I do think that first week of April, we will have some kind of conversations around where is it that you are hoping for more money or possibly better communication with the management. There's going to be some kind of little conversations being had possibly behind the scenes that first week of April. Just keep your cool. Try not to get into the he said, she said gossip, because that is very huge, especially with all that Mars energy. So just beware of that, okay? All right, Sagittarius, by the time you move into the second week of the month, this is when we have that total solar eclipse, new moon in Aries on April 8th. We have the Sun conjunct Chiron on the same day. And then the next day, Mars conjunct Saturn on the 10th, 2 days later. So some type of enlightenment could come to you, like an aha moment. Remember that moon card said take note of intuitive messages. That second week of the month is when those could come through. That Queen of Swords, to me, it feels like some type of announcement is going to be made at your job, or possibly this is someone in your own personal life that makes this huge announcement that affects you. But you're like looking at things differently now that you've heard this announcement. And I do think that this could, maybe you don't have all the information since Mercury is retrograde. So try not to jump to conclusions quite yet that second week of the month. And I will say Sagittarius, throughout the entire month of April, let Mercury do its thing. Let it go through, slow down, and speed back up. And if you don't have to make decisions, try not to make them until May, because it's just too much volatile energy between the eclipse season, Mercury retrograde, then we have the conjunction. It's just a lot going on. We'll have that full moon in Scorpio that third week of the month. So something could come out at that time as well. The third week of April finds us with the sun entering Taurus on the 19th. We have that Uranus conjunct Jupiter in Taurus on the 20th. And then on the 23rd, we have a full moon in Scorpio. So that week, like I said, lots of energy. Some type of twist of fate could find you. I do think that it's going to be something, again, around your finances, around your job with that Four of Pentacles. Some of you are concerned that possibly you can't keep the amount of money that you thought you were going to be able to keep, or maybe you can't save as much as you were hoping because of whatever news this is. So I really feel like this entire month, messages keep being sent to you, and you're just going to have to figure out how to navigate them, okay? Remember, you did get that moon, take note of intuitive messages. So really tap into your spirit guides and angels and ask them for assistance, okay? This last week of April, we will have Mercury retrograde ending on the 25th. Mars conjunct Neptune and Pisces on the 29th. Venus enters Taurus also on the 29th. And then at the very end of the month, we have Mars entering Aries on the 30th. Now, you all, this has already been a very charged month, okay? By the time you get to the end, most people are going to be spent. They're going to be tired, worn out. But for you all, this seems like some kind of energetic lift, like you're working well with your colleagues. Possibly you stepped into a new position, or possibly you're working different with people. Even though the star card is in reverse, to me, it's more like maybe little tension around just like getting to know people, or this is the first time you've had to work in a group. But overall, I feel like it's really positive, and I feel like all those intuitive messages that you got throughout the month are really going to help you by the time you get to the end of the month. So overall, I was going to say Scorpio, because I was going to say that full moon in Scorpio, I do feel like is going to bring some big news for you, and it's going to be some kind of shift for you, okay? But overall, I do think Sagittarius, your month looks full of kind of back and forth energy with groups of people, possibly your superiors, possibly your subordinates, depending on where you are at work, working with people, and then figuring out how to work differently once you listen to your spirit guides, okay? So pay attention, like I said, with that moon, take note of intuitive messages. Even though this card is really simple, it has a really big meaning to it. Make sure you're paying attention when you're outside, when you're working with people, when you're getting ready to go to bed, when you're in the shower, all of those times when you're like by yourself, really take heed of what is being sent to you, because this month I feel like they're going to be even heightened. I think your spidey senses are going to be up, and you're really going to take heed to some of those messages. So really nice to see. So thank you, Spirit, for sending that. So Sagittarius, I hope you all enjoyed this reading. Let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to this April. Let me know, is any of this resonating with you? I would love to hear from you. Drop me a comment below. As always, I will talk to you later. Take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs.